You coming back in here though? Okay. Anyway.
All right.
Hey, Ed with Ed Antics, living our best life. And this fine young man right here is going to tell us about the Hammer Museum. And it says right there, come get hammered for only $7. You can't beat that, right? I've never heard of anything like a hammer museum, but he said something just a second ago about the tallest hammer.
This one right here,
right there,
was the world's tallest hammer. Somebody built a taller one. 2 days ago, a guy came running up here. Does Dave know about the hammer? I'm like, what are you talking about? Does Dave know about the hammer? But that one, there's nothing Dave doesn't know about it. Turns out the tallest hammer, they hung a sign on it, disqualified it, so we are now back.
You are back to number one. Yeah. Awesome.
3,600 pound drop hammer.
3,600 pound drop hammer.
Here 120 years ago for the Army. 3,500 pounds. Drove the pilings. It's just you pull it up, you let her go. Dropping
the pilings.
At the same time, in Pennsylvania, they built a 250,000 pound drop hammer. Wow. Wow. This I'll be up there too. Operated for 2 years and took every building in the area off its foundations.
Oh, that's way cool.
Now, they built two of them. One of them went to the Chicago's World Fair when Edison hit the lights for the first time in history and lit up the night. So that was another example of, look, America's here, we're serious. We aren't fooling around.
Right?
250,000 pounds.
Holy cow.
No clue
250,000 pounds.
what they would use that for to technically shape. Okay.
And what's your name?
My name is John O. Green.
John O. Green. Well, I'm Ed Smith back.
Hey, Ed. Nice
Thank you for taking time for us.
Let's start over here, if this is all right with you.
Absolutely.
This is high tech. Look at the angles on this.
Looks pretty sporty.
Somebody put a lot of time and effort into coming up with this.
Yes, they did.
So far, 4 geologists have not been able to tell me what kind of rock this is.
Really?
But I can tell you one thing. From what we were given at birth, standard operating equipment, and a force multiplier, if it's a round rock, it's a force multiplier.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is high tech. This is super hard rock, and this is perfectly
and it's really shaped, and it's meant to be a hand hammer.
Hand hammer, hand axe.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we're eating bone marrow. What are you guys doing?
Awesome.
You know, they're gonna want one.
Yeah.
They're gonna need one. They didn't know they needed it until they saw it.
Yeah.
That's the nature of tech.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So from a force multiplier comes every conceivable nuance in the age of hammers. You go back almost as far, if not farther. This is a throwaway hammer from the third pyramid on the Giza Plateau.
Really?
Meaning a few things. One, they've made 2 pyramids. They're looking at 2 pyramids while they're building number 3. Egypt is clean.
Yeah.
They've got job security. And for thousands of years, this dolomite rock, hard enough to be used as a hammer, is a cottage industry. Just making the hammers for the guys that are starting off 16 pounds. It gets down to this.
From hitting and
toss it.
Throw it away.
Toss it. No good.
Start over again.
Yeah.
That's
Job
awesome.
security.
Is that
baby.
not awesome or what?
Security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Triton? Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of crazy, blacksmiths were the magicians of the age. They were the guys who could take rock, turn it into lava, turn lava into iron, turn iron into whatever you needed. Somebody had a problem. They couldn't swing a hammer and hit what they needed to hit. For some reason, there was stuff in the way. So you went to the blacksmith and told him, and the blacksmith made him this. Now he can hold this hammer with this against the thing he can't hit and hit the back. The blacksmith was a problem solver. He was an artist. He was creative.
That's awesome.
And he innovated.
Yeah.
Everything in here is a tweak. Here are some hammers that were life and death hammers. These came across the country pulling Conestoga wagons. The real ones, the real guys.
What's this one?
And these made it. These came across. If you didn't have that, you couldn't hit your team.
Yeah.
And you're going 7 to 12 miles. Right? You're going straight. Whatever's there, you're rolling over.
Yeah.
Your wheels are taking it hard every single day. You lose that, you might as well plant the corn right there.
Yep. Might as well figure that's where you're living.
That's where you're living. All right, now here, that is how they used to cut a check. You'd go in with your check to get it cash, and you'd say, "Cut me a check," and the banker would whack it with his hammer and
To
cut
show
it.
that it's been processed.
He'd give you your money. Now that's a canceled check. Today, like so many other things in this room, the saying has carried through, but it's flopped. Now, cut me a
Yeah.
check means write me a check.
Yeah, right.
Everybody
check.
knows
Yeah,
that.
exact opposite of what they
Everybody
actually
used
did.
to know that.
That's awesome.
That was common.
Awesome. Wow.
Patent wall, all
Look
the
at all
different things that people thought, if at this point I can hold on to this long enough, I'm going to make my living. I'm going to make a killing.
Unreal.
As you know, we got blacksmiths over there, but over here is cobblers. Before a shoe store, every single human foot that ever walked wore custom-made shoes. Every
That's right,
single
they did,
human
yeah,
being
yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
If they wore shoes, somebody made them. And even the guy who makes shoes is a cordwainer. That's not a common term to me. A cobbler is a common term to me. But a cobbler fixes shoes, a cordwainer makes shoes.
Oh, thanks.
All kinds of cigar hammers, because you had to get your cigar out of the box, and the box tapped back down. There was no humidors. So if you want to keep your cigar fresh, you've got to have a tool. And they all have advertising on them, and for some reason they've all got bottle openers.
Hey, what are you supposed?
This, I love this.
Look at that thing.
Because the simplicity of some of the things that they used that were so universal. That's a gong mallet. Everybody knows what a gong
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
That sound resonates. They used them for foghorns. If you're on a ship and you're in complete pea soup fog,
Yeah.
and you hear one, you know it's a ship.
You know it's a ship. Yeah.
If you answer him, he knows you're there. And if you keep it up, you have relative position.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Never
You know where,
fails.
yeah.
Never
right.
fails.
No sinking of a ship.
Well, you're not going to run
What
into
about
each
the
other.
tiny ones?
Which one?
The tiny ones.
The tiny one? This one?
Those ones.
These ones here. That's an interesting story. Once upon a time, instead of clapping at the end of a song, they would tap the tables with their door knockers instead of applauding. Doesn't that sound silly? And then if it was a very crowded, smoky, loud room or something, and somebody tapped on their table, you'd hear it. You'd know somebody needs some service. So you'd go over and see what they want. So it's kind of neat.
That's pretty cool.
Didn't last all that long, but
Pretty
you know,
cool, yeah.
long enough. I'm gonna buy only Arm & Hammer baking soda on a crate tool. Talk about advertising, right? You can get it in the mold once, it advertises to this day.
Yeah.
And he used to have competition. There hasn't been anything, since I've been born, there hasn't been anything but Arm & Hammer baking soda.
Right, yeah, that's the only name. That's the
But
only name I
buy
know.
only Arm & Hammer baking soda means he had
He
competition.
had yeah, yeah, right,
Poor
yeah.
product placement, I would say, but then
Unreal.
again, Clark bars are great. Campfire marshmallows.
This is cool.
Compliments of Kellogg's corn.
This is cool. Way cool. Tomorrow we'll come back and really study it.
Brother, there
you
is
know.
so much in here. It's
Yeah,
just
I'll bring because the
ridiculous.
family wants to see it. But I wanted to, you know, because the idea of what we do is to share people where we've been and get them, you know, right, to go and hear things you have to say and actually look and study all this because this is just amazing. I don't like to show them everything because
history of
then they
Catholic
think they've
God's
seen everything, right?
Oh, I got you.
But I like to give them an idea and then they can make their own choices and stuff. But you know, this is amazing. This is one of the
There's backstories to everything.
oh my
And
gosh.
all of them, at one point, were just like that old rock. They were tech. They were the pinnacle of tech.
Yes, they were.
Might not have lasted
All right.
long. Well, like all these tractor tools and stuff up
Yeah.
there. Those things didn't work 100 yards, and you'd have to fix them. But the
Yeah, oh,
guy
yeah.
next to you's got a scythe.
But yeah,
He's got a scythe. You just ran through.
cool, and that's cool.
That was
Millet
there.
Maritime. That is really cool, really old too.
Old
USS
iron
Constitution,
sides.
man. The USS Constitution is a wooden hull, 3-masted frigate. The United States Navy is given the name George Washington for it. Launched in 1797. It's best known for its role in the American War.
Made
Yes,
out of
they
green
can.
oak.
Wow, man, made out of green oak.
Not supposed to
Awesome.
build out of green oak. They didn't have a choice.
Oh, really?
The cannonballs bounced off.
Oh.
That's how she got her nickname, Old Ironside.
Old Ironside, sure. Yeah.
Old Iron on her.
Well, man, thank you so much.
You bet.
And we'll Ed Antics. I can write it down for you so you can see it.
Yeah,
Probably we're up here for 12 days, and when we get home, we'll get it all put together. So
be nice.